Hello, everybody. Good evening, all. I'm Kavitha from Career Crafter. We'll talk about Career Crafter a little while from now. I'm very happy to host this. I've been doing a lot of career discussion series on various topics like career opportunities for IT professionals, IT students, computer science and engineering students, career opportunities for electrical and electronic students, like different streams. We've been having various career discussion series that has been happening. I'll share the link, go check all the videos. This particular session is slightly different. This is not a particular stream or not a particular vertical. This is like an horizontal. This is career opportunities for women. So women would cut across all the streams, all the verticals. So this is a slightly different discussion. And why we chose March, because March, we know we all celebrate International Women's Day, but I chose not to do this on 8th of March because it is not just 8th of March that we need to celebrate women. It is all through the year. So we will start with this discussion, and I really want to have a career management path, well-defined career management track and path for women as well. So this is one such initiative. We're just starting from this and let it evolve. Let us hear from a lot of women professionals on what kind of mentoring that they're looking at, what kind of career guidance they are looking for, and then we will take this further. I'm talking to a lot of people in general, but this women track will also be continuing because there are few challenges that are very specific to a specific set of women in specific career stage. So those are the things that we can start addressing through Career Crafter, partnering with various companies or individuals who are having this kind of alignment. So GoZeal is one such company. I'm really excited to introduce Sanghamithra today as the guest, and we'll start with this. First, let us understand what Career Crafter is doing, and then let us understand what GoZeal is doing, and then talk about Flexi career opportunities. So I'll just play a small video about Career Crafter, and then we'll talk about GoZeal.
Career Crafter is the single career management platform for students and working professionals.
It is
the one-stop shop for all the career development needs, regardless of whichever career stage they are in, from students to senior professionals in various fields. We have Career Launcher series exclusively for students who are getting graduated and looking to enter the workforce. Students can enroll and complete the online course. This will help them understand the various career opportunities available so that they could choose their career track and start preparing for their journey. We have Career Navigator series for the ones who have graduated recently and entering the corporate world. This course will help them understand the fundamentals required for them to grow in their career. We have Career Elevator series for the experienced professionals. After a few years of experience in any field, it is important to choose the right career path for various roles. This course will help guide them for a strategic career development. All the course owners and the career mentors of Career Crafter are all seasoned industry professionals. All of them are practitioners in their respective fields and have gained their expertise through good amount of experience. Apart from the online courses, we do have career guidance sessions, webinars on various topics, access to a simple job portal where students can view and apply for their internships or jobs, discussion forums, resume services, interview preparation services, mock interviews with feedback, mock aptitude tests, career assessment services, one-on-one career counseling sessions, career coaching and mentoring by senior professionals, and many more. Why wait? Register with us Let us craft your career together. Go to our website careercrafter.in, click the register button. You will see a form. Fill in your details and submit it. We will guide you for a specific course that suits your career stage. At any point in time, you may contact us. You could send us an email, talk to us, or chat with us. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so that's about Career Crafter. So now we'll jump to today's session. So today we have Sanghamithra. Sanghamithra was born and raised in Chennai. She pursued her degree in finance from the University of Denver, USA. After nearly 2 decades in the States, where she worked on Wall Street for a Fortune 500 insurance conglomerate, Sanghamithra returned to India. She started GoZeal. It's a startup that focuses on providing end-to-end workforce solutions to organizations. GoZeal aims to bridge the gender gap in India and add diversity to the workforce. With an all-women team, GoZeal provides work from home, I would call it work from anywhere now, and flexible work opportunities to skilled women from a variety of backgrounds. This is especially heartening to see in our post-COVID economy, where women wish to work from anywhere and return to work and be economically independent. So this is the 100% women team that is run by Sanghamithra. So very happy. The first time when I met her, I was so excited to hear from somebody who said, yes, I'm going to be doing this, and it's going to be 100% women team, because we all discuss during our coffee meetings. So when we work, we used to take a break, we used to discuss all that. Then once the coffee ends, again, we go back to the work place and we forget about it. So, and then again, we discuss about it, but we were not doing anything about it. So I was so excited to see somebody really coming out and starting something, and then showing to the world, hey, this is what all women team is all about. It's like proud of you, Sanghamithra. So let us know about GoZeal. Okay, can I play the video now?
Sure, yeah. Let's go ahead.
We echo Kavitha, Sanghamithra. Really glad that you started off on these lines. May this tribe grow.
Yeah.
All the very best again.
You're confident and enthusiastic. You graduated with honors. However, finding your first job is challenging. Should you move to a big city? You love being a mom and now you're ready to get back to work. Do you miss your team and want to restart but don't know where to begin? You think you like your job, but it's not really for you. But you do it to pay the bills. Do you debate about turning your passion into a profession? We understand how hard it is to juggle all aspects of your life. That's why we created GoZeal. You can work on your terms, your time, your place, and earn what you love doing.
I created GoZeal to accelerate diversity and equality in the workplace, to provide a true flexible remote solution for talented professionals seeking a one-stop platform. Together, let's actively challenge stereotypes, fight bias, and broaden perceptions, and take a step towards gender equality. And it starts with you.
Sign up today with GoZeal and join our team.
Yeah, so that is GoZeal for all of you. Yeah, but
Right.
more from Sanghamithra about her initiative. I would start with the first question of what initiated you to go for something like GoZeal?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Kavitha, for giving me this opportunity. I think this is always great because I'm trying to spread the word out, and I feel like very humbled that a lot of women are supporting this. A lot of people want this community to grow. So I'm very, very thankful for that. So thanks for hosting this. Thanks for having me on it. So what initiated me to do GoZeal is I'm a mom of two. And I personally have always struggled with balancing. So just a little bit about my career, like how you mentioned, I was working in the US in very cutthroat Manhattan culture for close to 18 years. So it was fun and great before marriage. After marriage, it was not much of a difference. Maybe you're going out, life was a little less rigid. But once I had kids, it's just like it just hit you, right? Like every other girl over there, I went back to work after 12 weeks of pregnant, of childbirth. And so just the whole juggling and all that, it's always tough. And yes, I had to go because I needed that income, I needed that support, I needed all of that. So it was a little difficult to just cut through. And even when I had my second one, I couldn't just kind of quit, right? So we all fall in this circle where we're forced to work for whatever reason. For me, it was I had to pay the mortgage. It's unaffordable to live in one person income, right? So I never had a break. I didn't take a break. I think we all can relate to that to some extent. And since I've always wanted to start and do something on my own, and I'm very passionate in this space, I said, why not India? That's where it's the most relevant. And the reason behind that is we have the highest educated rate. More than 50% of women get educated, right? Higher number of rankings. We have the top rankers, college rankers, university ranked toppers. All of that, women are high. And then when it comes to interviewing, that's when it falls dipping, right? So our girls all the guys, all the backbenchers do better in interviewing. All these boys get through like good, everything, and the girls just dip. And there is a good curve right now. A lot of freshers, everyone is working up front. And the minute they have kids or get married, there's a big slump, right? So to put things in perspective, India is at like 22% or 21% participation rate of women, right? So this is pre-COVID, and I can imagine after COVID, it's probably much worse, And to give you perspective, US is close to like 50%, China is 60%. A lot of developed countries are in the 40+%, right? And why is India suffering all of this? And there's a quick dip. If you look at the curve, it goes up and it just comes down. Why is that? And I think fundamentally the problem with that is being, lack of infrastructure, lack of cultural, there's so many problems that we need to deal with as opposed to other countries, lack of good daycare system that we can trust and leave our kids and kind of go back. So I thought, hey, we need to build a bridge, right? Basically, we need to do something that way these women with multiple skill level are not just like twiddling their thumbs and sitting at home, I think that's what created me. That's what I think it's a long-winded story, but that's what initiated me to do more of this in India. And plus I moved back to give my kids a little bit of Chennai culture and where I'm from and a little bit of that. So that's why I think it also helped with that. But this is the need of the hour. The timing is perfect. Every other company is talking about diversity and inclusion. If even something like this emerged 5 years ago, people would have not understood what some of these values and principles are. But now in 2021, there are big companies starting from Tata to like Reliance to like bottommost small businesses who are actually thinking about what is diversity, what is equity, what is inclusion, right? Those terms are like normal terms within the company, which is huge, right? So I think we're making progress. Companies are receptive to accepting this. And I'm very excited personally about the timing of this. And I think it can only go up from now, because our parents and not parents, I should say our mothers, their generation have paved the way. They've sacrificed so much for us to be in this stage. And I feel like they're passing the baton to us and we need to do what it takes for us. So our girls do not have the whole gender disparity and the gender gap and pay gap and all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I just want the entire audience to understand what GoZeal is actually doing.
Yeah. Okay. So GoZeal is a very different one-of-a-kind platform. It doesn't exist in its rare form, right? So we are a hybrid, to make it very simple, we're a hybrid of consulting and freelancing, okay? So we're trying to solve two problems, okay? One is on the women's side and one is on the client side, right? Women's side, we are saying, if you want to work part-time, remote, and flexible, this is your go-to platform, all right? So it's very simple, part-time, flexible, remote, right? These three things which all women want. I feel like after kids or even freshers who want to do multiple things, they only want to work 5 hours in a day, but they want to do it remote, and they want to be flexible with their schedule. I have girls who work just from like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m., but I have girls who work from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's it, you know, that's their commitment. So I think in terms of offering, that's my offering and value add to these women. We are not a typical freelancing company in the sense we are not a marketplace. We don't connect the client and you say you're a designer, you're a graphic designer. We don't connect ABC company to you and say, okay, you both do the deal and we'll take a commission back, right? That's where the flaw is, because not all graphic designers are good with marketing. Not all graphic designers are good with selling themselves or negotiating for the right salary or even upskilling and getting, you know, they might be good with their skill, but they're not actually client ready, right? So we have clients in the US and the UK, and a local graphic designer might not be able to communicate, but she could be the greatest creative designer, right? So our goal is to bridge that skill gap, right? So what we say is, hey girls, come onto our platform, work for us, work for GoZeal, we will be the employer. You bring in your skill and you do whatever work the project comes in according to whatever your timings are, and you do it and you can leave. And say if your kid has 10th grade exams, you don't want to work for those 2 months, you have the option to, right? So think of it as a floating kind of flexible career with an established company, and you are on their payroll, right? So think of it as that. So that's one end of the women's, right? For the clients, so there's lots of outsourcing companies. So they outsource the task or they go through a freelancing portal called Upwork.com or Fiverr.com or Freelancer.com, where you could have a web designer in Ukraine, you could have a UX designer in India, you could have a content writer in America, you know, it's like very distributed, right? So how does a business manage these distributed workforce, right? Today, we're going to talk about gig economy a little bit in terms of numbers and how much it's going to grow. A lot of these jobs are getting to be done by independent contractors, right? So that's how the world is trending. So how do you connect those? And so my value add to the company is, hey, Mr. Klein, just tell us what you want and we'll take care of it, right? So we are the middle people. You just tell us what you want and we will employ our Rita, Sita, Geetas, all the girls on our platform, and we will find you the best talent based on your requirements. We'll say, hey, I need one web designer, one graphic designer, and we have a platform and database that supports that, and we'll match you to the project, get the project done, and we give you the deliverable, right? So the key here is the headache of deliverable is not on these girls who are working as part-time, right? There is somebody else overlooking your work. There's somebody that's doing the quality check. There's somebody else trying to say, hey, this is wrong, Rita, do it again. Or, we can improve in these areas, right? So that kind of support and kind of hand-holding and mentorship are all the things that GoZeal is providing, right? Does that give you a little clearer understanding of what we're trying to do? Because
let me put it across, because there are other platforms like what you mentioned, Upworks or Fiverr. They just connect the freelancers or the consultants to the customers. But the differentiator of GoZeal here is that they're not connectors. They are not aggregators as well. They are the people who will deliver the project through the freelancers and the consultants who are all women. So to sum it up, it's like 100% women, 100%
women,
remote,
and managed services, right? So that's the key word that we're looking for. We are managed services company.
And it's a serious business being done through the women workforce.
Yeah. So we're taking the best elements of outsourcing, we're taking the best elements of freelancing, and we're marrying it up and saying, hey, we'll be the company. You just come on board and finish your work and go. We'll take care of you. And if you have a problem, we will help you. The goal here is not to, because trust me, we've done so much market research on freelancing and all these Upwork kind of sites, right? Why are they like less women compared to men? Because women aren't able to work 20 hours a day, and they are unable to do 100 projects, so they can keep, it's an algorithm, right? End of the day, the more projects you do, the more you get shown in front of the clients, and the more reviews you get, you are pushed forward. So how do you get to that number if you're not even doing the bare minimum?
Yeah, and even the billing rates are different.
Billing rates are different, and there's a huge gender gap, right?
Yeah, the wage gap. Yeah, I mean, every year we generally do. When we do the comp increase, the comp process, we also do view of gender parity. If it is, so we always end up in looking at a percentage less than that of what is paid to man. I mean, it just happens. We all feel that we're conscious, we're doing a lot of things and all that, but when we actually look at the numbers, there seem to be a gap, and every year I'm seeing this.
Yeah,
so and just pushing it.
Right? So we need a company. So just to sum it up, how we would join GoZeal and how you could make an impact or join the network to actually work is, say if you're, I don't want to pick IT examples a lot because I know IT jobs there are, right? I'm going to pick something very like on the creative side, a content writer or a logo designer or someone who wants to work with social media. Okay, so you just come to goZeal.com and sign up. Okay, and then you upload your resume or whatever it is, or we have a portal that right now that we're trying to build. You just give in all your details and we just parse everything. Okay, so we build that kind of database of women, skilled professionals. Okay, and then there's a full thorough interview, like how you would interview at a regular company, right? So there's an HR round, and then there's a say if you're a designer, you'll have a senior designer interviewing you, and they'll probably look at your work, right? And give us your link to your portfolio. We'll check out your portfolio, and then we'll say, okay, this is how we operate, and we educate them on GoZeal values, culture. And because everything is remote, right? We're never onboarding them. We're never bringing them into the office and giving them cupcakes. It's none of that, right? We're shipping everything. Everything is remote, And I have girls working in Thailand. I have girls in Australia. I have girls, so we want to have a cohesive kind of thing. So once you come on the platform, we create a dashboard for you. You sign up and give your bank information the minute your project gets started. So you would upload your Aadhaar card, your PAN card, all the information is ready to go, and you're waiting for a project. So in the meantime, you can upskill yourself. You can use courses like Career Crafters offering. We can partner, we're generally looking to use the person's time, not ideally, like we don't want it to be idle. We want you to upskill and get yourself comfortable in whatever field you are in, right? And then you wait for the project. So once a project comes in, someone from GoZeal will connect with you and say, hey, this is the project, this is the rate card, this is how much you will make out of this project, this is your hourly thing, and these are your deadlines. Okay, are you in or out? Okay, so we will select the, say, first 5 or 6 girls through our algorithm to see who best fits that job. And then we'll give you an opportunity to say, hey, this pricing doesn't work, but I love this project, or whatever it is, right? There's a little bit of a dialogue. And then once you get on the project, you will get linked up with the project manager within GoZeal, who would be a full-time employee of GoZeal. So you will work only with that person. So you will not work with a client in Europe, or you won't work with a client in the US, or you won't, you'll only be working with a local program manager who understands your language, who understands your cultural, implications, whatever it is, right? I think it's very important to understand that, because previously there's a huge kind of gap. It's like someone reporting to some guy in Portugal, a manager in Portugal, they're not going to understand how to work with them, how to, I don't even know, he might say something and there's a lot lost in the communication, right? So that's our value add to these girls, is we will be the translators of whatever it is, we will be the frontline talking people with the managers, and all you have to do is come do your skill, right? And when you're ready to step up to the program manager or project manager level, more than happy to. right? So I think that's the value add that we provide. And I think once a project is done and the client marks as the project is complete, you get paid automatically. So it's a project basis payment, right? So the more projects you do, the more payments you get, you know, and you're in charge, and you're in control of your time, you're in control of your projects, and you're in control of what you're doing. One day you could be like, hey, I want to try content writing. Maybe you do try that. We'll support you with that. But your background could be IT, and maybe you're like tired of testing or whatever it is, right? Hey, and we'll say, hey, why don't you do some data analytics course and then do that? And maybe you'll be interested in that. So we're opening up a lot of opportunities for you to kind of be a fish, and you want to swim, you don't want to swim. You know, you can figure out yourself, right? We're not saying, hey, ni vandaya, idu pannaya, like, you know, it's not cut and dry like a real corporation, right? We're giving you space to grow. We're giving you space to explore yourself. We're giving you a great opportunity to upskill yourself and really figure out what's interesting to you. What's your zeal? What's your passion? You know?
Wonderful. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I mean, just making me to ask the next question on how are you managing this remote working? Because I thought it'll be like different cities or towns, but what I hear from you is like different countries now.
Yeah, we're growing, so that's a good thing.
So how are you managing, or how would even the people who are working would manage it?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So what we are trying to build is a robust kind of freelancer platform. Okay, so we ask people to update their calendar. I mean, this product doesn't exist as of today, but in 6 months it'll be there, right? We're building this product. Right now we use a lot of third-party channels.
The
like
tools are there, yeah.
Yeah, we use Slack, and we use like Airtable, like a lot of third-party project management software. Yeah, project management software to get the project done. And we have our own challenges, don't get me wrong. Not all women who are saying they'll do it end up doing it, right? The deadlines is a real struggle for some people. When we say Wednesday at 1 p.m., it's never Wednesday at 1 p.m., right? It always comes a little late, you know, so we have to manage all of that. And there's a project manager every day trying to say, hey, this is what you committed to today. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Right? But there's a good amount of girls who say, I will turn it in. I will turn it in. There's not a lot of back and forth. There's not a lot of review. And we're not trying to judge you, right? The whole goal of this is we want, I mean, I know it sounds very philanthropic or whatever, but we want all the women to grow their skills. You know, ultimately, I want you to be more responsible, more accountable, right? More on time, because once your kids leave your nest, you'll be ready to do a full-time job, and you should be ready to put GoZeal as part of your resume experience and go find your big job at Cognizant or HCL or whatever else you want, right? It's that gap that we're trying to fill, right? So we're really, this could be a platform who are looking for full-time. If you're really passionate about the subject and stuff, you could be here. But essentially, this is a product for part-time. I think I'm veering. So your question was, how do we manage the time zone? So we ask them to give us 3 core hours in a week. So we can have any meetings, any collaboration, anything that needs to be done during those hours, right? And then rest of it, you will be surprised. Everything is digitized. Everything is electronic. We have online whiteboards. We have online collaborative tools. We have partnered with a few companies that will work. We have voice recordings, right? So instead of just texting back and forth with a program manager, you just pick up the phone and say, hey, I want to do this, this, and this. It's much more effective with communication, you know? And we send audio messages, we send video messages. Sometimes I send video messages to girls saying, and they understand so much with the body language, with the, whatever it's. So I think all forms of communication is good. More transparency is good. Trust is good, right? I really, as our employee, we need to trust them, because this is extremely different, right? No one's coming to an office. No one is asking you. No one is saying, hey, where are you doing? You're not, none of that, right? These women have to be responsible to do their own work. And we have to rise up to that step and say, I can do my own job. You don't need to tell me what to do. And the whole philosophy of where we come from is, if you sign up, you should be able to do that.
Yeah.
So
especially
I think,
after COVID, maybe things might have changed a lot, because earlier we had a mindset. A lot of organizations, as such, we had this mindset of some of the work. We always feel that these are the kind of work that need to be done only at office premise or at site, on site. But COVID broke all of that. Now there is an acceptance of this remote working as a job as such. So maybe that has added a little bit of value.
Yeah, absolutely. So pre-COVID, right? Like, I think Western countries were okay with kind of accepting remote work. Like me, I was a senior manager or level at Liberty Mutual, which was my previous job in New York. And we were okay. I would just say, hey, I need to go to doctor's appointment in the morning for the kids, and I have to work from home the rest of the day. It was very much accepted, right? But I know with Indian culture, I'm learning so much of it right now as well, that was not the situation, right? So post-COVID, I think for GoZeal and just women in general, that's the best thing that we could have had, in a wrong way. COVID has just opened up a lot of opportunities. COVID has just given the confidence for senior management to say, hey, employees can perform there at home, can perform when they've been given the trust, can perform when they have the flexibility, and now the issue is drawing the line between when do I shut off, when do I keep it on?
Yeah, that is something
kind of
that, I think that is the main struggle now, because I just recently did a survey and most of them ended up telling me that it is the long working hours that is actually causing a little bit of stress when they actually log in from home.
And just on that note, right, I think women fall into the trap that I need to finish everything by tonight. Like before I
want it perfectly done.
I want perfection. I don't want anything outstanding for in the morning and all that, right? And trust me, I think it comes with experience. I've been there, done that, right? Like I wanted all of that. But it really doesn't matter. The world will move on, even if you're not there. Like everyone is indispensable. So I keep saying, don't kill yourself at it. Right? Especially as a mom, you need to give that 100% undivided attention. And that's my whole advice to all these girls who come on board. Hey, those 3 hours, I know it's difficult to give that, but give 100% of it. So find those 3 hours where your kids are not bothering you, or find those 3 hours when they're sleeping or when they're playtime outside. You work your schedule according to theirs and you give your undivided attention. And then when you're spending time with kids, don't look at your phone. It's just not that important, right? So I think drawing that line, even when you're working from home, is very critical. And I think more and more managers are able to understand that. And as a company like GoZeal, I think we are the most understanding and empathetical towards these kind of situations, and all our program managers are women, project managers, I mean. And so there's a lot of leeway, but at the same time, we need you to pick up the slack if you are unable to make it a certain time, because end of the day, there's a GoZeal stamp that we put out, right? So we are responsible for the quality of the work. So we expect that kind of accountability from them,
Yeah. And maybe I'm also seeing this gig economy trending, and it's quite increasing, because right from college graduates, where I'm hiring a lot of freshers for some of these organizations. So most of them are now asking for internships, not a full-time job. They're telling, no, I'm okay to give another 6 months of my time. So they're trying 3 or 4 different internships to figure out what they are more interested in. So gone are the days where they join as an intern, they get converted to a full time, and then they continue. Earlier, it was like they gave that time for at least that 1 year or 2 year of that initial period in their career, and then they used to switch jobs. But now there's a trend that they want to try different internships and choose. It's like it's the first stage in their career. When we talk about the career management life cycle, I call it the first stage, formative stage of career. But it starts from there. So you can imagine even different stages. This is trending now. People want to actually take up more than one job. as a consultant and play with that, and it's more creative or whatever. It gives that fun of solving different kind of problems altogether and being a little more flexible.
Yeah. So gig economy, in terms of like the global perspective, there have been reports that are being done for the past decade, right? McKinsey comes out with every year, they come up with numbers. They expect by the end of 2025, US will be 50% or above will be working on a gig basis, right? Independent contractors will take over 50% of the total workforce, which is huge if you think about it, right? So when you think about gigs, don't just think like digital work or freelance work, right? Think about the Uber drivers, think about the Swiggy deliverers, all of those, and all the, delivery, grocery deliverers, and any kind of like this new kind of app-driven logistics type market, all of them also fall under the gig kind of economy, right? So if you think about it, that number in India right now is, I think, like less than like 15% or something, you know? So it will go up, right? India is not immune to anything. We are quick to follow like the Western kind of thing. It's very nascent right now, but at some point we will get to a stage where we will be guns and blazes doing more gigs, you know, because people, you're right, people want to try different jobs, right? Do I like this? Do I not like this? You know, this goes back to my concept that says, you know, in India, you're supposed to decide what your career is by 9th grade, right? Because 10th grade comes, 11th grade, you have to
9th grade is too late here in India.
Too late. You have to choose MPC, economics, but whatever this pure
and
science.
the child is born, they affix. That's what they actually used to tell here. But it's changing now.
So that same concept, right? So, so I used to tell people, like I went to the US to do my bachelor's, right? Personal story, I went to do information systems. I thought that was the hottest thing to do back in 2000s. 99, I think. I said, I'm going to do that. That's what my goal is. And I went there and I took one information system class and I was like, what is this? I hate this. Imagine if I took engineering as a career and I would have like just lost 4 years, you know? I mean, that's so detrimental. I was like, oh my God, this is why the US, the first 2 years, you just take courses. The last 2 years is when you specialize. You know, that kind of freedom that you have to kind of pick and choose classes, right? And then I took like one finance course and I was like, wow, I love this. This is what I'm meant for, you know, like I would be like a wizard with numbers. And I would just like, I love the stock market. I love trading. I love this, you know? So that was my natural essence, right? But how would I know that if I didn't do what I didn't like, right? So that kind of same concept applies with the working force as well. You know, so I'm all, and I think GoZeal is a great platform for you to test out your skills and be like, hey, am I good at this? Am I not good at this? You know, and it's not just for, I don't want this to be construed as just moms or just, you know, it's open. It's like, as long as it's women, right? At some point, we will be marketing this as a platform for also LGBTQ plus community. It won't just be for women. I think it's everyone but men. I don't know how to strategically market it. So we will figure out a way to like come up with a nice way to say that. But it's basically to give everyone an opportunity, you know?
Okay. So one of the hot topic generally when we talk about gig jobs or women career management and all these things, I mean, even some of the audience had asked this question on career gap. So, and I have also personally been talking to a lot of people when I recruit and things like that. So there's always this one, I would call it a little bit of stigma that, you know, when there is a career gap, the confidence level of a lot of women is a little low, and they tell, you know, yeah, I have a career gap and what do I do now and all that. So I always tell them that, I mean, you just have a career gap. It's okay. Pick up, get skilled, jump and start the work again. But that part, I think, you know, this kind of jobs, the part-time jobs that GoZeal is offering would add a lot of value because I don't know, with the maternity benefits, though it is said it is good to have 6-month benefit and all that, there's a 6-month career gap also. And earlier it was 3 months. I mean, that's a little controversial topic. It's good to have, but then the problem is like, the more and more you're not working, it just widens, right? And people are ready to do, say, not a full time, but at least for 4 hours, 3 hours per day. So those kind of things, what I see, they can get skilled and be ready for their next job.
Yeah, yeah.
They can
So
pick up something.
I would say it's a true, like they'll say, Carl, a starting problem, right? I found this in a lot of women. Actually, I should say most women in Chennai, like in the beginning, a year and a half ago, like pre-COVID, when I used to go and say, they'll be like, these are engineers, right? Who are like ex-Cognizant or ex-GoZeal. They've done like, they manage teams and all that. And they're like, no, Sanghamithra, I'll just do data entry job. I'm like, what? Why? Why would you give your skills away up like that, right? And they'll be like, no, I think I'm comfortable just doing this. Let me just start with this and then we see. So you see where is managing like a team of 15 or 20, and now they're just willing to do data entry. I'm like, why did you go to college for this then, right? So I think that's huge, and I think that goes with, that's not just women who are pregnant or women who are moms. It's just women across the thing, right? So if guys, for example, you probably know this really well, Kavitha, HR field, if your job description, you see 20% of that men will apply. 80% of that women see, still they'll think, should I apply or not?
Yeah.
So generally itself, the confidence level is low, right?
True.
You're asking for salary or when you're negotiating your pay, your promotions or whatever it is, right? Generally, we're dealing with the confidence level here versus here. And to top it, if you think of the whole maternity, and then it goes down over here and it takes ages to bring it back over here. So I think it's important to understand. That's again why GoZeal is a great platform for that, is because we handhold them for them to come from here to here, right? And then they can fly on their own. It's like, it's not something that you need constant attention or constant. It's just the beginning phase of it that you need to push through. But I have to say, women do get comfortable not working. I also have to mention, right? They get very comfortable. I know a lot of girls who are now ready to like never go back to the office because they're so comfortable working from home. These are full-time employees at like banks and wherever. They're saying, you know what? I'm comfortable working from home. I'm never returning. I'm not driving 45 minutes and going to my office, right? So you apply that same logic. Women can get comfortable very easily, and to get you out of that mode also takes time. And women are queens with coming up with excuses, I feel, or because of this, I'm like this, or I don't have this, I'm like this, my maid didn't come, that's why I'm not working out, or I'm not, or like, it could be end reasons, right? But there needs to be a common thread of willpower that needs to say, hey, I need to go back to work, whether it is to feed my passion, or whether it is to buy milk for my kids, or whether I want to buy a Gucci Prada bag, whatever it is, you need to have that motivation. If you don't have that motivation, none of that will happen, right? Because it's very comfortable to just sit at home and not. So you're so used to that life. And especially in India, this is very specific to India. There are a lot of women, good, highly educated, qualified women, who have spouses who bring home enough income, right? They don't necessarily need to go to work. It's not a financial pressure to work, but they're very idle and they don't want to go to kitty parties or whatever it is, right? They're done with that wasting life type thing, But there needs to be some sort of motivation to tell them, if it's not money, what is it? Do you want to be known to be an analyst in this space? Or do you want to be the best mentor or coaching, whatever it is, right? So you really have to figure out what it is. And women struggle with that, right? Sometimes they don't know what they want. They think this is what their end goal is, but it's really not, So I would really encourage just like to dig in deeper to yourself and kind of see, what is it that I really want? They'll say, oh, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to start my own company. I want to do this, right? They'll have lofty goals. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty of it, can you do this A, B, C, D, E, like 25 steps? They'll fall through, Then you need to readjust, right? You need to say, okay, I'm not an entrepreneur. I can do this to support an entrepreneur. or whatever it is, you know? So I think it's key to understand what we are good at and really figure out what our true strengths are and work towards those strengths, right? I think that's key. And instead of saying, oh, these are my weaknesses, let me try so hard to bring it up. Never do that. Never do that. And I see, after coming here, I see working with a lot of tier 2, tier 3 kind of cities in Tamil Nadu. They're extremely talented, skill set girls who don't have good communication, who cannot speak good English, who are unable to communicate what they're trying to say and, pass through the message. I'm like, you know what? It's okay. The French people are not embarrassed that they don't know English, right? You can speak broken English and they get away because they're French, or, any other language. No one feels so bad or guilty about not knowing the language English as opposed to Indians, I feel. The accent is off or this, and that's where we come in play, because we're saying, don't worry about all that. You just churn out your project and you just churn out your talent. We'll be your guiding hands to speak the way we need to, and you can learn from us, right? So all this is to say, focus and hone your skills specifically on your strengths and not hours and hours on your weaknesses. Everything is a skill, right? Like communication is a skill. It's a trained behavior. Public speaking is a skill, right? Not all of us are born with everything, So you really need to work towards that one skill, and really well, right? Yesterday, they came out a new report from McKinsey. It's called, I wish I pulled that up. It's called adaptive learning, okay? So even big Harvard, etc., they're all re-looking at what new education system is going to look like, okay? So it's not like overall generalized learning for everyone. It's personalized learning. So how can we hone your skills in your space in a most positive way? So that's going to take off in the next decade. It's all going to be personalized learning and vocational learning. So they want to train a skill with certain thing, and they'll just focus on that, So there's a lot of good stuff out there. I think we need to focus on that.
Wonderful. I'm actually working on some of those things as part of Career Crafter. Yesterday, we had a great meeting with one of the training centers where they only do skill training. Like after the training, people can just do their job.
Excellent.
So those kind of things. Yeah, that is actually growing.
Yeah.
Great. So I think towards the last part of that skilling and all that, Career Crafter can be of a good or great importance. So those who are interested can sign up, enroll for any of the course that suits your career, and we will be there to mentor. But that's not a women-only platform or something. That's for all to manage the careers. And we focus on those skills and the skill gap after the assessments.
Do we want to take some questions? We have a couple of them, right?
Yeah,
Sheena,
I think, we're open to take any questions. Bhuvna, Sheena, Dinu, Kavitha. Sheena, you're on mute. You can unmute and then ask.
Yeah, you can hear me now? Renu here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, Renu.
Yeah, Sanghamithra, one question. Okay, I'm completely amazed by the idea. Okay, I'm like I love this concept. I mean, it's really good. And the only doubt that I'm having is what about the pay, Sanghamithra? I'm just putting it straightforward. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. If in case suppose I join, and then if in case there are not enough projects, so will I get paid, or is it just based on the work that I do? Or I just wanted to get some clarity on that.
Absolutely. Great question, Renu. So we are hiring for 2 roles, right? We're hiring for a project manager who's a full-time employee. So you will be an 8 to 10 hour working, you'll be on a 40-hour schedule, right?
Okay.
And you will be dealing with clients on one end, and you'll be curating teams and working with the consultants on the other end, right? So that is, you'll get full benefits of the company, all of that. That's a full-time role with GoZeal.
Got it.
The second role, which I think most women would be interested in, is the independent contractor role. So it really depends on how much projects you take on board. So if you take on more projects, you get paid more, right? Again, depends on what vertical you're looking at. So say for instance, content management, right? Content writers. Content writers generically in India, they don't pay much, you know. You write one long giant essay and they pay like 500 rupees. That's the market over here. It's really sad, but that's what it is, right? But my whole goal is I'm working with the US and the UK clients, and I want, you know, I want us to make money in the US and pay in rupees. And I want to make that as I want the pay to start at a decent level, right? And when you're coming on board, there is a question right there that says, what is your hourly rate? Okay, where do you value yourself? And we have a little wage calculator nugget that will tell you, okay, based on your previous experience, based on your last job, what bracket you kind of fall in, okay? So, and then it'll help you evaluate it. And then maybe you put a number that's saying 600 rupees per hour, okay? And then we also have to calculate your GST. So if you make more than 20 lakhs per annum, you will have to charge GST to us. Unless you become like an employee. So these are all intricate details, right? So what's your background, Reenu? What would you be your vertical that you might do?
No, I am from IT, Sanghamithra.
Okay. So IT gets paid well, so you don't have to worry, you know.
No, I'm just like just curious to know like how is this happening? So that's it.
No. So every job is different, right? IT is very broad. So web designing, developing, it's very kind of a broad category. So we could take this kind of offline, and I could hear about your resume and your work experience, and I could tell you where you could be pegging in. And you could share what your previous income was. All I can say is it is not going to be the full-time income, right? People come on board thinking, oh, I will make 20 lakhs out of this. It's not that, you know, because you're not giving in 40, 60 hours a week. You will probably end up giving 10 to 15 hours or 20 hours or whatever. You could be giving more than that. I'm just saying, generically, people need to understand there is a price that you're paying for flexibility and remote and all of that, right? And the business model, how GoZeal works is, so say if we charge the client, say $5,000 for a project, GoZeal will take 20% of the cut, which will go towards the program manager and our platform. And the rest, 80%, goes directly to the freelancers, right? So very transparent with the job costing and everything. There's generalized rates and rate cards for everything. Rest assured, you can, whatever you do, it'll go to your pocket, you know? We're very transparent in that space.
Okay. Sure, Sanghamithra. Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the question.
Hey, Ashita.
Hi. So I just had one question on the project manager's aspect, right? So you basically are they skilled enough? I mean, are you mapping the project managers based on the projects that they are aware of? Like if it's content related work, is this project manager having does he or she has a previous experience of being a content writer by themselves?
Yes.
Because the main problem is, you know, in corporate or any big companies, you find a lot of project managers where they don't have the skills to even guide when there is actually a gap. So basically, it's like a postman's job. Right? They go talk because they might be excellent at communicating. But that's something that is a challenge that might end up in a challenge if they are not really skilled and only do project management.
Absolutely. Right. That's a great question. So we kind of had that situation 6 months ago when we were doing live projects. The PM would be great. And that's when we realized we have to have that PM also be a domain expert, right? So I think my whole criteria is domain expert is the much tougher kind of skill set to find. And then project management skills are just added, in my opinion, you know? So say if you're a senior graphic designer, at some point, you're tired of doing the same logos and same thing. There will be a point you'll graduate and you'll be like, you know what? I just want to critique. I just want to supervise. I don't want to do the creation phase anymore. You know, so say if you're in the design space for 10, 15 years, right? You don't want to do the grunt work, you know? So we find the senior, like to answer your question in the content space, we will find senior content writers who will be willing to manage the junior people. And that person will end up being the project manager.
Okay. So I'm not from any content background or anything. I just told you as an example.
Sure. Yeah.
And one more thing is, you were mentioning about, women might not be very confident about talking to the clients or something, but then if you see on the emotional level, right, it's not just rewards. If you take companies now, companies have started giving part-time jobs. So Cognizant, I think a couple of months ago, they said you can pick part-time jobs if you want.
Yeah.
Like how, you can be available for certain hours and you'll be paid based on that.
Yeah.
So even big companies are coming up with this flexibility, knowing that, people are going in that mode of work.
Thanks for your point, Sheena. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I was late. I had something else. Glad I joined late. At least I got to hear.
No
good
problem.
We will have the recorded version, Sheena.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I think that should be it. And if anyone has questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to put in my LinkedIn contact in the chat message. Please feel free to give me a LinkedIn name. And then anytime you could go to www.GoZeal.com and sign up, and one of us will be in touch. And I don't know why I never have this ready. I'm going to send it right now.
I'll just put it goZeal.com, right?
Yeah, and I'm sending my personal link. Yeah, I found it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, and follow us on Instagram and in LinkedIn.
All the social media. Yeah.
Join GoZeal. I'm so new to this. I'm not even if my digital marketing, my girl is here, she'll be like, say join GoZeal all the time, every 2 seconds. Ladies, thanks so much for your time, Reenu and Bhuvana and Sheena. Thanks again. And hope this was informative to you to some extent.
Yes, sure, Sanghamithra. We'll reach out to you for me, definitely, Leah, I'm planning to explore. I'll reach out to you.
Please.
Hey, wonderful. Yeah.
Sure.
Hey, thank you all for your time. I'm sure a lot of them registered, but I think they couldn't come and attend. So we will have the recorded version. I'll share the link to all those who have registered and to others as well. So yeah, thank you all.
Very inspiring.
Thanks,
once again.
Kavitha, for having me over.
Yeah, very inspiring. I'm so glad I made it for the session, Sanghamithra and Kavitha.
Hey, thank you, Kavitha.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, Buna, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think it's a good concept, and best wishes. I know you two are working, 24/7, I guess, to manage the post-COVID. Work from anywhere is going to be the norm in the new future. And I think, the culture in the, Indian context has to change, as Sanghamithra was saying. Even I felt the same. In US, when I was working for First USA Bank. Now it is Bank One. So I had two offices. I was living in King of Prussia, and my head office was in Delaware. And, they gave me one office in, King of Prussia for 3 days, and other office where I have to go for meetings, and they would arrange and, work around so much for every employee. But I think Indian culture has not caught up on that. And I think you two guys are doing a real good job to bring in that. So best wishes to you both.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, Buna. Yeah. Okay, so we will just end it. Okay.
A great session here. Really enjoyed, and best wishes, and all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you all. Thank you all for your time. We'll end the session.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Sanghamithra.
Thank you. I'll get on.